Oh, blimey.
So you just tell me when. You don't want to sing the theme tune again this time, do you?
I mean, it's up to you, only if you want me to. If it's going to
I
add to the views, if it's
No, not
going to.
really. I don't particularly want you to, but I know you sometimes like to.
No, it's fine, mate. That's good.
Okay.
I'd rather not.
I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Casterbarus.
I hope the ears are a bit less conspicuous this time.
You might be a doctor, but I am.
I'm a doctor, but probably not the one you expect.
Absolutely fantastic.
All of time and space, everything that ever happened or ever will. Where do you want to start?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bigger on the Inside, the New Who Doctor Who Watched On podcast. We're doing our mid-season break again, where I'm joined by Harrison Tinley to talk all things Big Finish. Hello, Harrison.
Hello, Tim. Allons-y. Hello, everyone.
Oh, very good, very good. So if you're expecting to hear us talk about whatever episode is meant to be coming up next, because these are recorded so far in advance, I do tend to lose track. Come back next week, because we're going to be talking about Big Finish audio adventures. We're doing our Big Finish battles. This is the third one we've done. It's exciting, right?
I mean, it's all right, isn't it? Yeah. No, I'm joking. No, this is hype. Audio is really kind of like the holy place at the minute for Doctor Who for me. So, perfect.
Awesome. So we've both picked two stories. I know I haven't listened to yours. I don't know if you've listened to mine or not. But do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first today?
After you, mate, because I actually haven't got a clue to what you've chosen. So I want you to surprise me.
Well, I think I told you I was going to do a short trip episode, which for those who don't know from Big Finish are sort of about 30 to 40-minute episodes, and they usually only involve one or two characters. And often that one character, often those characters are narrated by only one person. I recently listened to a Peter Capaldi one called The Big Plan or something. I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head. It won the 2020 writing competition. I was going to do that one, but I didn't. I've gone for another short trips, which is Flight into Hull.
Into Hull, was that?
Into Hull, yeah. Flight into Hull, which... I don't know if you've listened to it, Harrison, but for those listeners at home, one reason I picked this is because me and Harrison are currently living in the city of Hull. It's where we live.
Yes.
Harrison's address, actually, if anyone's interested, it's...
The Daleks order you to subscribe to our Patreon. Resistance is futile. Failure to subscribe will lead to extermination. Seek, locate, subscribe.
Sign up to the Patreon and you might be able
internet then on that one.
If you sign up to the Patreon, I might hand out Harrison's address. So I picked Flight into Hull, which is set in the parallel Earth where Rose Tyler lives at the end of Doomsday, where she's disappeared to. It takes place after Jenny's End because she lives with the Metacrisis Doctor. And the story basically follows the actual story is read by Jackie. The whole story is from Jackie's point of view, and she's on the phone with one of her friends, telling her this adventure that she's been on with the Metacrisis Doctor. And basically, the adventure is that in this parallel world, Hull is this exotic paradise of like spa treatment and all this exotic places meant to relax people, which if anybody who's been to Hull knows couldn't be further from the truth. It's got some really good fun moments in it. It's got Jackie, of course. For anyone who's listened to the main podcast knows that one of mine and Harry's favourite characters is Jackie and Mickey through series 1 and 2. So it's real fun to hear her again. She has this really good phone voice at the start of the episode, which is great. The future Hull is really interesting, and it has a small addition to the Doctor Who universe in the sense that it includes Harriet Jones. You don't hear her, she just gets a passing mention, which indicates that in this parallel Earth, there is also a Harriet Jones. So you haven't listened to this one, yeah?
If I'm honest, I haven't even heard of it, but I like the sound of it. I have never heard of it, and I'm surprised it's under it's not under the era which is classed in Tennant era. It's like under Capaldi, which is quite interesting.
Sorry,
But,
no, this is a Tennant story. Sorry, I didn't make that clear at the start.
Oh, it is a Tennant story.
It is a Tennant story. My apologies.
That's all right. No, but it's awesome to get, because if anyone's into that era, I don't know, it's almost like how you describe it. It's almost able to act, for anyone into that era, it kind of hands them the answers that aren't answered like on telly yet. We haven't got a clue what happened to Rose after Journey's End, or what happened to the other 10, the other incarnation of David Tennant. So it almost kind of operates, for like anyone interested in that area of the canon, it's kind of like in a way like an epilogue.
Yeah, the actual story of the episode is that the two of them, Jackie and the Metacrisis Doctor, are involved on this flight, and it's about to crash land into the Humber Bridge. And it's about them trying to save each other, and how the Metacrisis Doctor, even though he is basically only half Doctor and half human. So it's quite interesting to see how his human side takes over and how he becomes very angry with the situation. Ooh. And how him and Jackie don't necessarily get along, because she's not that fond of the Metacrisis Doctor, because he's not.
Oh, really?
He's not the Doctor. He just looks like him and acts a bit like him, but he's slightly irritating because he's got that human element to him.
Yeah.
The episode's written by Jonathan Lidster, who also has gone to write actually on-screen episodes for Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Adventures. He's wrote I think he only wrote one Torchwood story. I think it's called like The Day of the Dead or Death of the Day or something like that. And he's wrote a good handful of Sarah Jane Adventure stories as well. He's also written some more Big Finish stuff. He's wrote The Rapture with Sylvester McCoy, The Master with Sylvester McCoy, and Terra... What was this other one called? Terra Firma. He's wrote that one as well. I don't know if you've listened to any of those.
Terra Firma. Yeah, I know Terra Firma. That's that has 8 in it, and the Daleks. That's really good.
Oh, cool. So, based off what you know from that, it's really good. Yes, I would imagine that Jonathan Lister, from what I heard from this, is a really fun, interesting writer. He's wrote Torchwood, a lot of Torchwood Big Finish stuff as well.
Yeah. No, nice. I mean, like how you described it, I like the sound of it. I know you described as well, like how he isn't completely 10. Like he's kind of half or got aspects of 10 in him, like this incarnation of the Doctor. So it's quite interesting to hear how he interacts with the Tylers. I like the sound of that.
I was a bit apprehensive because I thought it's all going to be done from the point of one character, but because she's telling this story. It almost just becomes, even though these are audio plays and audio dramas, these short trips tend to act more as as audio stories. Someone's reading you the story in the form of a drama.
No, I mean, and it's, how you describe it as well. It's about half an hour you described it as the runtime?
Yeah, about half an hour, I think. Just let me double check, see if I can find out how long it actually was.
Nice.
See, and I'm having a quick look here at the TARDIS wiki. TARDIS wiki page. I can't seem to find how long it is, but it was only about half an hour. It wasn't that long. I just listened to it one night when I couldn't sleep. Just stuck it on. It was just a nice little interesting story to listen to. It was real good fun. Yeah.
No, that's quite interesting as well. And obviously, I presume it doesn't have an evil entity in it. So you haven't got an alien heading off in particular. It's just the.
I don't want to spoil it, and also I can't really remember. But not really. The main story is mainly the Doctor and Jackie working to solve an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair deep. Easy as that, really. Yeah. I mean, I like the sound of that as well because I'm quite into Who when half the time there isn't an evil that's after the companions of the Doctor. They're just kind of in this hard place and they have to resolve the situation as it is.
Exactly right. They're usually quite interesting because it's quite refreshing. I always feel to step away from a bug-eyed monster.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so we'll move on to yours. Do you want me to introduce it, or do you want to introduce it yourself?
After you, mate. You can introduce it.
And you have picked The War Master, Only the Good. Written by Nicholas Briggs, Janny H. Jones, James Goss, and Guy Adams. I know Guy Adams is a big Finnish writer who's wrote a fair few things as far as I'm aware, especially a few David Tennant things. Nicholas Briggs and Derek Jacobi star. Go for it. You tell us about it.
Yeah, mate. Right. So, if anyone is into if anyone's kind of into Who and they're kind of having to get into audios, there was a point where this audio you didn't have to pay for it, and it was just on it was just on the internet, and you were just able to add it to collection without paying for free.
Oh,
so,
wow.
hence why I've chosen it, because it's quite. I mean, I don't know if that's the case anymore, but at the time I managed to get it, I didn't pay for it, so
Well, I'm looking
I
now.
believe it's a great.
Are you talking about the full box set or just this one story?
Only the first episode of Only the Good.
Oh, all right, okay, yeah, I can't see that.
Just the first one, but yeah, it was available to everyone. So hence why I chose it, just in case anyone else in the community has heard it. But it's in the name, really. It concentrates on the Master in the Time War, and
War Master.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's the War Master, and it's awesome. It's awesome for them. It's awesome for them to give the chance over to the actor, because I'm aware he was awesome as the Master. He was incredible, but he didn't really have hardly any time on screen until he got replaced. But it's brilliant. It really is quite interesting, because it's not as if every time you hear an audio or you're on the telly, Doctor Who, you think, right, you've got the companions and the Doctor, they're going to go somewhere, there's going to be an evil, they have to fight the evil. But it's the complete kind of opposite here, where it's not about the Doctor, it's about the Master. And how the audio plays around with that is brilliant, because obviously you care about the character, the Master, and you concentrate on him throughout this whole episode, but you're also like, wow, he's evil. He does some evil things in it. But you're like, am I meant to be supporting this guy? Or
that was something I wanted to ask you. How well does it tackle? Because often I find that sometimes, if a story is centered around an antagonist, it can sometimes be quite difficult to engage in the story. How does it work with this?
Yeah, how it operates here is that you kind of all you have to know heading into it is that he's the War Master, he's in the Time War, and he's kind of on the run from all the Daleks are after him. They're after all Time Lords. That's the point of the Time War. But it concentrates on him, so he's on the run. So it's not as if he's inherently evil at the beginning of the audio. He's just on the run from the Daleks. It's all that war.
Yeah.
But he can't. In the plot of this episode I'm talking about, he's on this planet, and I forget the name, but he's on this planet which is underwater. It's always this aqua planet he's on, and he's on the run from the Daleks, and he's hiding out at this place underwater.
Gardezza, I believe it's called.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I'm terrible with names, but he's hiding out there, and he's on the run for the Daleks, and then he turns up there, and all the humans there are obviously hesitant to let him in. They're like, look, are you going to help us? But then he turns around to them, and this isn't really handing a huge amount away, because it's in the synopsis, everything. But he acts as if he isn't the Master, and he says, look, hi, I can help you. I've got a TARDIS. I'm the hero you've heard about. I'm him. I'm the Doctor. And he lies to them. And at that moment, you're like, oh no. And it's brilliant how he kind of it's him in this place underwater having to lie to the people around him by controlling them and having to get in their heads so he's able to get away from the Daleks. And he lies to them, he wants to manipulate them, and it's brilliant. But as you're there hearing it, you're like, God, this is awful. You can't help but not think, I'm really enjoying this audio, but these humans are getting completely screwed over by the Master, and it's really cool but horrible to listen to, if you get what I mean.
Is it good to hear the return of Derek Jacobi as the Master as well? But that's good, because like you said, we only really get a little bit of him in Utopia.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's brilliant. After hearing this audio alone, it really does. I mean, obviously, all the Masters that we've had on telly are great, obviously, and I rate them highly. But it's just awesome to hear his return. And when you hear him, turn around to the humans in this underwater place, and at the end where it's like, I'm the Master, and you hear him in this tone and his delivery, you can't help but go, oh, he's back. It's Derek Jacobi. He's back as the Master, and it's brilliant.
Oh, that's awesome, then. That's great.
Yeah, it's great to hear him in the role because obviously he hardly got any time, and he's kind of the opposite to the other incarnations we've got on telly, where he is kind of like in a hard place. He's on the run from the Daleks. He's being hunted down, and he's not in a powerful place. Yes, he's able to control the people around him, but at the end of the day, he's on the run from the Daleks. He's vulnerable.
Yeah, well, I've just checked, and this episode is still available. It's free at the moment, so maybe get in there while you can. And I actually went to download it just as you were speaking to find out I already own it. So I already have this downloaded, so I might give it a little listen later this evening.
Please do. And also as well, it's in the time of a normal episode of Doctor Who. So they've almost, you know what I mean? It's like a pilot episode for this, and it's in the length of a normal episode. So it's not as if the classic audios where it goes on for 2.5 hours. This is exactly how you'd watch it on the screen, but just in your ears.
Is it good as well hearing Nicholas Briggs interacts as the Daleks with the Master? How much of, without giving too much away, of course, how much of that do we actually get?
So if I'm honest, there's hardly any interaction really, but you do. It's nice hearing him. Obviously, always of the voice of Daleks. It's always a pleasure to hear him do it. But it's nice to hear the Daleks in the Time War in their prime, where they're just killing everything in sight. It's quite powerful because I would argue you don't always have that on telly, where the Daleks aren't always in a powerful. You know, that's what I believe anyway in the current era. But
of course,
it's just. It's really it's cool hearing them at their prime, where they're at their peak, but you don't really I'm aware you don't hear kind of you talked about that interaction between Daleks and Master. You don't really have a lot of that here, but I'm aware it absolutely happens in his future audios.
Yeah, I know when I listened to the War Doctor, his first I forget what it's called now, his first outing in Big Finish.
Only the Monstrous, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I was a big fan of hearing the Daleks at the start, but for that first episode, you don't hear anything, and I suppose that's the bite, isn't it? That's what they want. They want to tease you with it, so that I will then go and buy future episodes of this. But no, from what you said, this sounds really interesting. It's got some good Big Finish writers behind it as well, which is always great.
Definitely.
I'm trying to think what else we talk about. The War Master for Big Finish is sort of their. I always think they've got Paul McGann's Doctor to really build on, and also this is sort of their Master as well to really build around as well. And the two of them do come together at certain points. Am I right?
Yeah, they absolutely do. I know from 8 audios. I haven't heard them all, but I'm aware. And how they even hype it up, where they're like on the cover they have 8, and then opposite him they have the War Master. So it's almost like they're saying, "Yeah, here's the audio you're after." But,
so is it almost like Tennant has John Sim, Capaldi has Michelle Gomez, Jodie Whittaker, Sacha Dwar? Is Paul McGann's Master now Derek Jacobi, or has Derek Jacobi interacted with other incarnations of the Master as well?
Ooh, that's an odd one because I know there is another incarnation that's earlier than the War Master. That happens in audios. That's he's earlier than the War Master. However, he's after the one it was I forget the actor, but in the movie there's another incarnation that I believe is an actor called Alex something. Yeah, it's Alex. I forget his name, but I believe it's Alex.
It's Eric Roberts.
Name now, but yeah.
Eric Roberts. I've said it 3 times now.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sorry, that's the one. So that's kind of like 8's one. So I believe this is kind of like aimed at Hurt in a way, and John Hurt's like his incarnations because each of them in the war.
Yeah. I would definitely recommend people heading over to the Big Finish website because I'm on here now, and I've just been searching, and I've downloaded 3 episodes, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more 3 ones to download. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to make an account, and you can listen to all these free Doctor Who stories.
It's as easy as that, folks. And honestly, we're having to tell you this out of the kindness of our hearts. It isn't as if they opted to pay us to do this. It's all free.
Exactly. Doctor Who Red Planets Part 1. I've just got that. Doctor Who The Highest Silence Part 1. I now own that. Doctor Who A Life of Crime Part 1. I now own that. Doctor Who 1963, The Assassination Games Part 1. I now own that.
Right. Blimey, I can't keep up. Jesus. It's but
you know,
quick you heard him.
To get these 3 episodes. You have to head over.
You honestly, guys, you've got to check out.
Yeah,
very
definitely.
good stuff.
Because I know at first I was slightly apprehensive of Big Finish. I was like, I'm not really sure. Does it count and all this? What do I really want to, invest time in this? And then hearing a few of them and doing it for this is like, not all of them are great, but a lot of them are great fun to listen to.
Oh God, yeah. Like, and I completely agree with your point there, mate. It could obviously, you keep hearing about, these audios are great, but it is hard to get into them. Obviously, if you're into Doctor Who and obviously you watch it on telly, it's really hard to go from on telly to audio. And I only got into audios because I wasn't that into the current era of Doctor Who we're in now. So I used audios to carry on how I'm into Doctor Who. So that's how I got into them. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm really keen on getting for those listening to this, we recently spoke to Johnny Morris, who wrote Genetics of the Dalek, the Time Lord Victorious Tom Baker episode. He came on to talk to us about Big Finish, and there's some really interesting stuff in there about some hidden Big Finish stories, which are hidden away in a vault, which are yet to be released. So definitely go and listen to them. Some hidden Tom Baker stories that nobody has ever heard. So go over and listen to them, and check that out as well. I'll tell you what, we'll start wrapping this up. Thank you very much, Harrison, for coming on and talking to us about Big Finish. It hasn't been as long as normal, but, when the episodes that we've picked are good, fun episodes, there's not a lot to talk about because you enjoy them. I know in the past when I've spoken, I've usually had some slight problems with them, but this has definitely been one of my favourite ones that I've listened to.
Yeah, easy as that, really, guys. Like, if I'm honest, it's like, it's hard to talk about them because, like, it's just easy for us to say we're into them and we enjoy them a lot. So we kind of like opting to hope for you guys to hear them, and you can optimate your own things with them, your own judgments.
Yeah, especially
these audios are very good.
Yeah, especially if you listen to any of the ones that we've recommended. Go and tell us what you thought of the ones we recommended, and maybe recommend some more to us that we could do in future episodes. Look at this. Doctor Who, The Sons of Caldor, Part 1, starring Tom Baker. It's free. Doctor Who, The Sinister Kill, Part 1, with Tom Baker and Frank Skinner. You have to pay a penny.
It's free.
You can download them straight to your phone. You get the Big Finish app straight to your phone. You can listen to them on the go. Brilliant.
Easy as that, folks. Easy as that.
25 minutes of Doctor Who fun. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Harrison. We'll wrap this up because I'm getting too involved in the Big Finish website. Thank you very much.
You're going to be here all night.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and all that. And I'm sure we'll do another one of these one days. We should do some comics or something, I feel, as well, instead of just doing Big Finish stories.
Comics would be quite cool, because I haven't opted to read any comics of Doctor Who. I've not even touched comics. I mean, I've heard all about them. I've had crossovers and everything. But cool. So hand us that if you want to hear from that in the comments, guys. If you want us to do comics, let us know.
Yeah, cool. See you later, guys. Say bye, Harrison.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
This is the Emperor of the Daleks. I am ordering you to subscribe to the pure and blessed Bigger on the Inside podcast. Failing the order will result in total extermination.